And Madam Speaker, in the report we have submitted as Public Accounts Committee through our chair, we have made a number of observations and recommendations. Madam Speaker, I want to start by saying the design of our Constitution 2010 is made in such a way that for every cent you collect from citizens in terms of tax, or you get on behalf of the citizen as a loan or as a grant, must be accounted for in terms of either a project, a service, or a placement, a financial placement. Madam Speaker, it is very, very disheartening that we have departments of government that are now notorious in one, having stalled projects, two, being unable to account for finances given to them, three, having very poor financial records, and four, having abnormal wastages. Madam Speaker, if you read that report, when you reach the Department of Water, you would wonder the amount of wastage this country has witnessed in that department alone. Madam Speaker, you will find that they started a project, a water dam, without having acquired land. They have not acquired land. They have money to build the water dam. Madam Speaker, you will find that in between the years, they start another dam. That dam is incomplete, sunk in at several billions of shillings. Madam Speaker, it is very disheartening that up to now, as we sit here, we can really not explain the actual payroll of the National Police Service. Because ping pong between the National Police Service Commission and the National Police Service. Article 2265 provides that if the holder of a public office, including a political office, directs or approves the use of public funds contrary to law or instruction, the person is liable for any loss arising from that use and shall make good the loss, whether the person remains the holder of the office or not. Madam Speaker, I'm reading that proviso because of what Honorable Toroitich said on this floor. That indeed, I've looked at even past public accounts reports, that our implementation, the implementation committee of this house must up its game. We are actually almost becoming a laughing stock. We make recommendations, serious recommendations in these reports. But what happens? Madam Speaker, what happens? Madam Speaker, I'm even asking that this house must redesign what we mean by reprimand for a public officer. We must describe it. What do we want when we talk about reprimand? Madam Speaker, successive reports have asked accounting officers to take administrative action against officers who have led to loss of funds. What happens? You go in the next financial year, you see them there. If you ask, they tell you we are still waiting. Madam Speaker, I want to submit that this House must come up with a policy on what to do with idle investment and assets. As Public Accounts Committee, we realize, for example, the Department of Prisons has idle land for years. It's idle land. Some even is being grabbed. The executive must tell us, what do we do with these idle assets? We require a lot of money to fund education. We require a lot of money to fund infrastructure. But here we are, having departments with idle land. Thousands of acres. Madam Speaker, one of the things the Public Accounts Committee is pointing out in the report is that many departments in this country do not even have an asset register. For God's sake, if you don't know your assets, why are you asking for money to acquire more assets? And why are we giving money for these people who don't know their assets to acquire more assets? Madam Speaker, I also noticed, as we went through this, that the 1/3 rule labor law is obsolete in the current setup. Why am I saying this? As much as we are insisting on the 1/3 rule, we are forgetting that it is this House that passes taxes that puts pressure on the payslip of an employee. An employee whose payslip is already mortgaged for other things, when you are putting there more taxes, you don't consult. Therefore, it is incumbent upon us as a House to agree that the 1/3 rule is obsolete in the current scenario, and ask the department concerned to come up with a reasonable law that this House must pass. Madam Speaker, one of the things that we need to think as a House, why is it that the Public Accounts Committee will give recommendations based on facts